And we are live.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, episode 2.
We made it.
Uh, been an interesting week on this side of the country, for sure. I think that hopefully we won't run into it this week, but I think that might have obviously everybody, sure everybody knows the hurricane that came through, but I'm thinking that probably had a little bit to do with the Mike situation last week. I think that the internet connection was not great because of the storm coming through, and it was probably, I don't know, 8 hours later we lost power. So I'm thinking hopefully this week will be a little bit better quality. Yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah, how's the gym been? Because I know JR had to shut down Crash for a couple of days, and now it's back and running.
Yeah, I believe the power came back on Tuesday, I believe. Something around Tuesday, but it was, to my knowledge, no flooding this time, so that's good. He was, I believe, he was pretty well prepared this time. I know he had a couple different plumbers come by and I guess gave him some tips and stuff on to try to avoid or try to keep it from flooding, because that's one thing that he's had a problem with. Something about the drainage system. It's been like it's probably a month or so ago, it flooded bad. So he was a little stressed out about that, but no flooding. But we did lose power there for 3 or 4 days. But yeah, it's back and good to go now.
Good deal. All right. Well, I mean, do you want to talk about our topic today?
I think so. Let's
Seeing
see.
as you guys just got done with the hurricane.
Yeah, that's one thing that wanted to get your opinion on, and anybody in the comments. But it's a pretty hot topic when it comes to, especially with non-believers. I would say it's probably one of the biggest hang-ups, I guess, or biggest questions when it comes to faith is why. There's a couple different wordings.
Rock, you're
Shaky
all
again.
messed up. Yeah.
Let me see. Connection's good. Make sure the volume's good. How's it now?
That's good.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, big question when it comes to faith is why would, if you know, in the Christian faith, God is love. We have a very gracious and loving God. So a lot of people question if your God is so loving and so graceful and with justice and all this, why would he allow things like this to happen? A hurricane or kids with cancer or accidents, car accidents, anything of that nature. People a lot of times question, well, if your God is so loving, then why would he allow stuff like this to happen? What's your? I know that's a very loaded question.
I mean, I think if the world was perfect, why would I need God?
I agree with that.
If there was no cancer in the world, there was no natural disaster, who would I rely on? Would I rely on myself or would I rely on God? Because I think the easier life is, the less likely you are to rely on God in any circumstance. Like I think like I know natural disasters don't discriminate, and it's not, and like why would he allow that to happen? And like if your kid has cancer and like all that stuff, that's doesn't discriminate, right? But I think without hardship, I think of the rich man and how um the verse where it says, "Truly I say to thee, it is harder for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to fit through a sewing needle."
Yeah.
Um, like if the world was perfect and nothing bad ever happened, would you pray? Why would you? You wouldn't be worried or concerned about anything.
Right. No, that's a
And
good
I
point.
am like, also, I think the world, like the world is ours. God allows people to run the world. He allows us to have free will. Like it's not, he does not control us. The world, like this is the world. We have the world. Natural disasters are a part of the world. He doesn't cause natural disasters to happen, but he allows them to happen. But without that, like it's not a part of his kingdom. You know what I mean? I feel like I might be like rambling or going on a bunch of tangents, but this is what the world has to deal with, and how we deal with that can either bring us closer to God or farther away from God, and that's our choice. And he gives us those choices. Like those choices need to
Right.
exist.
Well, I think it's different with like natural disasters and things like that versus people bring up crime as well, and I like what's keeping it real. What's his name?
Grant.
That's what I thought. I like what he says. There would not be natural disasters or illness if not for the fall of man. Those things are a result of decay that began when sin entered as a result of man's choice. Which it does all go back to the fall.
But Eden was perfect. You know what I mean? There
Right.
wasn't a world outside of Eden.
Mm-hmm. There didn't need to be.
Nope. Try now.
We're good now.
Yeah, you're low, but we're good now.
Yeah.
Nope, we're bad. Just go off your computer, Mike.
How's that?
Oh man.
Any better?
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah.
Go ahead, start
hang
talking.
on, let me put it on to my.
What about this one?
That one's good.
There.
Yeah, Taylor, your 10-year-old is absolutely right.
That is true. Now, another question: if that were the case, would we be here though?
Would we be here?
And would we be in existence?
Why wouldn't we be?
True. I guess my thought would be procreation didn't come until after the fall. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but I think that was what was intended, because he was like, okay, childbearing is going to be very painful now. So like procreation wasn't meant to be painful, and
that's a good point.
that's a part of the fall.
That's a good point. But yeah, I think like I was listening to something earlier, and believe it was Cliff Connectley, I think is how you say his name, and he was saying if you're questioning why such a good God would allow evil to happen, you're acknowledging that there's evil, and if there's evil, there's good, obviously. So without God, without a God, without a higher power, higher being, whatever you want to call it, what would it really be evil? Because good and evil comes off of the standard that God made. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So good and evil comes from a morality, right? Well, that comes from you've got to be, if you're talking about being moral, well, you've got to answer to somebody, right? So within yourself,
where does your morality come from?
exactly, like within yourself, what is morale? Why, if there's nothing keeping you accountable, or if there's nothing greater than here, then is it really evil? Is it?
Where would you say? Where would you say unbelievers would say where their morality comes from?
Hmm,
Or you could throw it to different cultures. Like, I mean, you go to Papua New Guinea, they're eating people.
true. Good point.
Where does their morality come from?
Um,
I'm playing devil's advocate, right? I'm just
no, that's good. I don't know. I mean, I think it would have to, whether you acknowledge it or not, God still exists. So
Mhm.
I think that it would have to come, whether they acknowledge that it's coming from Him or not, it's still coming from Him. Like it might be subconsciously to them, or they might like there. That's their culture. That's what they've been taught. That's what they've grown up doing. That's what their ancestors did. Whatever. But they're still. But in that case, like obviously he's still in control. But would you consider that to be the enemy feeding their flesh? Not literally, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would something like that. I would consider just that is like Jesus never reached that region. You know what I mean? Or
Mm-hmm.
there hasn't quite yet been a chance for Jesus to reach that region. There is a wonderful story. I don't know her name, but it's a book. But my wife told me about it. This If she's in the comments, she needs to say this person's name. That way we can people can look up her story. But she was a missionary, and her husband went to a place like that to spread the word of Jesus. And a colony killed her husband in front of her and ate him. And then she
Was that Tip of the Spear? Is that the
it,
name of the?
it might be
Yeah, Jim Elliott and
and
Elizabeth
then
Elliott.
yeah, and then she went back later, and like 30 of them ended up being saved after that.
Yep, that's End of the Spear. Yep,
And
Leslie
that
put it.
is called, and I remember I was talking with the Glinton girls about this. That's true forgiveness right there. And
Mm,
if you can save a colony of people, of indigenous people who just killed your husband, like that's, you know what I mean? That's God working right there.
yeah,
And that's something bad that happened that God turned into something wonderful. And I think people struggle with like terrible things that happen or natural disasters that happen, but I think it falls under everything. Like we cannot understand what the inner workings of God. We can't, like it's and that sucks to hear. It's not, I don't know what he wants to accept that answer, but if it brings more people closer to God, a natural disaster and a whole bunch of people dying, we don't see that. We can't understand that, but it's, that happens, right?
mm.
And if it doesn't happen and it's just judgment, he is the ultimate judge. You know what I mean? And that's something like I think you just have to come to accept.
Well, that's that, and really like talking about that story with the Elliots, like that's the gospel. You know, like
Mhm.
she went back and saw that that's how they were changed. Well, so she watched her husband get killed by them, and then she went back. Well,
Yeah,
God sent His Son.
get eaten limb by limb. Okay, arm was for breakfast, and then leg was for dinner,
Little
and
razzle dazzle, he said.
yeah.
But God did the same thing. He sent His Son. We as a people killed His Son,
Hmm.
but He did it for us. He did it, whether you believe it or not. Whether you accept it or not, He's still good. And a lot of times it's easy to. I think where a lot of people get hung up is it's easy for people on this side to say that. Like it's easier for me to say, well, God's good all the time, but I'm not going through a storm right now.
Right. It's especially easy to say when nothing terrible has happened to you.
Right.
But like Elizabeth Elliot would be saying the same thing with way more credentials than we have.
Right.
And so like I think anybody can witness to anybody. I think anybody can preach. Not anybody can preach, but like we can all learn from each other. I don't like there can be somebody smarter or dumber or know less about the word or know more about the word, and you can still learn from that person. Like there shouldn't be any judgment going any way. Like Elizabeth Elliot would have way more credentials than us, but would Peter say, I'm not Jesus, so I don't know how to talk to people? Like I'm not gonna try to spread the word to people because I might not know what to say the right way, right?
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't stop anybody.
We've all got an excuse, we're all going to listen to our flesh at times, and that's our flesh is what wants us to use that excuse. Hey man, I don't, what if I don't know what to say? And that's one thing that I've heard preached numerous times is you've got to be okay with saying, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll find out and I'll get back to you, and that, I think that's a lot of that goes back to our pride. Like if it all boils down to, do I care what these people are going to think about me or do I care about their soul?
Yeah.
We've got to, I'm not saying speaking to myself, I've got to get better about, and I think we as a culture, as the church have got to get better about saying, look, I don't care what you're going to think about me, but I love you. So I'm going to tell you this, take it or leave it, but I care about you more than what I care that you think about me, because that's what the disciples did. I mean, all 12 disciples, 11 out of the 12, other than I think John was the only one, but 11 out of the 12, obviously Judas, obviously that's different, but
died in horrible
all of them
ways.
except
they
all died terrible ways. They were all
John got put in a vat of oil. Like
they tried
stranded on an island. It's not like nothing bad happened to John, but
right. And I think that's a picture for us that, we got to realize that whenever we commit to saying, Lord, this is like, I'm living for you. Like this is it. Like we've got to understand that that's what we're signing up for. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of times it's hard because we've got it so much easier than they had it, but we still, and we've got it so much easier than a lot of people in all these foreign countries, but we don't take advantage of it. And that's one thing. I know it's kind of circling back to what we were talking about, but that's one thing that I've been thinking about the last few days is just with the little things, like how much we take for granted. I mean, we take for granted hot water, taking a hot shower. We take for granted watching a little TV every once in a while. We take for granted having a refrigerator.
Are you making fun of my TV that they made fun of a while back?
No.
You know what's funny is I never thought that my TV was that small, and then I got
how big is it?
And then I got this gigantic TV now, and I'm like, I don't know how I watched TV before. Like this, now I can't fathom watching TV on what I had.
A little bitty, yeah.
It was like a 34-inch. I didn't think it was that bad, but
yeah. But looking now, what do you have now?
I don't know. Too big.
See, ours is like a 65.
I think it's a 75.
There's no way I could first world problems, right? There's no way I could go back to a 30-inch TV. But it's things like that. Like a lot of times, I mean, we get too worried about stuff like that when it doesn't matter, But I'm the same way. I mean, I don't have no little bitty TV,
I had a little bitty TV. Somebody gave me. I would still have that TV if nobody gave me something like. Me and Leslie are very different when it comes to that stuff. She's
think
not materialistic or anything at all, but I am very content with like a minimalist. Like I'm not talking about super minimalist, but like
right.
I go to 3 places every day and then that's it. And like I'm very content with what I have. I don't think I need more than what I have. I feel very blessed. I don't want more. And like I think the more money you make, the more easy it is to be sinful. Like it's very and obviously Leslie's like, she's like, we should make more money. If we can make more money, we should make more money. Which I don't disagree. We want to raise a family and all that, right? But that was we've probably had more talks in our marriage about stuff like that than anything else.
Well, I have a hard time balancing at what point does it turn to greed? Like at what point, like, yes, I want to make more money. I want to, so that I can provide more for my family, so that we can go and we can do without being stressed, or we can this and that. But at what point is it like you're just wanting this for yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the issues with money is the more, I mean, you hear the old saying, more money, more problems, but the more money, in my opinion, the more money that you make, the more you want to make. Like we make more than we ever have, but I feel like we've got less than, as like material, as far as like money. We make more than we ever have, but we've got less than we ever had.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's bad to have money. I just think the more money you have, the easier it is to be sinful.
Yeah, I can agree with that too.
Like, and I mean, I bet Tim Tebow's got a decent amount of money, and I don't know Tim Tebow personally, but I just, and I'm not talking about the mega preachers. I'm not talking about like those guys. They're bad. They're not Christians. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about your everyday person. Like I told Leslie, like, I don't want to make more than this. And she was like, we need to make more than this. And I'm like, but do we? Like look at the house that we live in. Like, do we need this? And like it's I don't know. Maybe I'm scared for myself. Like if I have the opportunity, I'm weak and I'll take it. You know what I mean? With whatever, maybe.
I feel the same way, for sure. Send me some money. I won't sin with it, I promise. But that's where our world's at, is I need to make as much money as I can, as fast as I can, and then I need to make more, But I agree. Because it says in the Bible, the love of money is the root of all evil. And people that struggle financially, they don't have that worry. You know what I mean? They don't love money. You know what I'm saying? So I see what you're saying, for sure. He's not talking about poor people. He's talking about the wealthy people.
Yeah. And I mean, like you live in Spartanburg, so maybe not, you might not see it, but like I live in Fulshear, Texas, and it's, people got money here. Like it's like, have you ever been to like Naples, Florida?
Close to it. I don't think I've ever been to actually to Naples.
Okay. It's just like, just everywhere you go, these people probably make over $200,000. Like as a combined household, I bet the majority make over $200,000. And I know that's not rich, but like,
that's comfortable.
That's comfortable. Right. Mm-hmm. And like, if just everywhere if everybody's like that and everybody's comfortable, you just feel like, it's just, I don't want to be comfortable. And I know it might sound bad, but it just I just feel like it would lead me to sin.
Hmm.
I think I'm comfortable and I think I could be comfortable. Now with a family, and family's way different, and I'm not gonna act like I know, right? You know more than I do, and I'm not gonna act like I know. But like if it was just me, I'm good on 20,000, man. Give me a 1-bedroom apartment and I'm fine. I can eat on that much. Like I don't need anything else. Now, a family's way different, right? And
Yeah.
like I'm not saying that about my family, but like just me personally, and it's just something I struggle with. Like to find the balance there.
Yeah, I agree. But and a lot of times, like I think we kind of touched on it a little bit last week, but we talked about how I had been on that mission trip a couple months ago to Nicaragua, and just going there a few times, and just hearing stories from people who went on other trips. The happiest people that you see are the poorest people in the world. Like truly the happiest people you ever meet typically are not financially not financially intact, I guess you could say, or
Yeah.
financially comfortable.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be like those people either. That's not
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying.
no,
That is not what I'm
absolutely,
saying. I'm not saying
absolutely,
that. I'm just saying I feel very blessed to be where I'm at right now. I'm
yeah,
very blessed. And I don't want to be greedy, right? Like and I'm scared that if I make enough money, I will get greedy. Like I'm scared there will be a shift somewhere. And I'm hopefully like, and I have confidence in this. I think Leslie would call me out. I think Leslie's very good at
yeah,
calling me out when I'm prideful, and I want her to be. It's one of the reasons I married her, because she wasn't scared to call me out on my BS sometimes, right?
hmm
Um, but and maybe that day would never come. Maybe I could make $500,000 and I wouldn't be greedy, and I would be, you know, um, not more sinful. But I just, for some reason, I have a fear that I would be, and I don't know where that
no,
point would be.
I'm with you.
Where do you think
I
that point
would
would be? Like, let's play a little game. Where do you think that point would be?
like you talking like a
dollar amount?
figure, like a dollar
Yeah,
amount.
yeah. I think if me personally, like if just me by myself, not Leslie's income. Leslie's a pharmacist. We're fine. We're doing good. Like, if I made $200,000 a year, I would be far more sinful than I am now. I just think that I don't know how. I don't know in what way, but
Hmm.
I just think that I'm so weak that like I'd be able to do things and get away with it. And I think I just would. And I don't know what those things would be, but I just think
Hmm.
that I'm sinful enough that it would lead to that. $100,000. I mean, I think I'd be fine. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be like, plan for the family, right? 150, even like, save money, right? I'm going to say 200 would be the number where I would start trying to get away with things without telling people.
Hmm.
And I don't know what those things would be, but I
But
just think I would.
that's kind of the number that you could kind of buy people off type deal. Is that what you're
Maybe
saying?
I'm not even talking about buying people out, but maybe I start gambling, like, and that gets out of control.
Mm,
Or maybe I start like, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I don't even know. I really don't. I just think I wouldn't worry about money, and then I could just do whatever I wanted to do. And there would be no repercussion for it just on the inside.
Yeah.
What do you think that number would be
I
for you?
I don't know. I think
I don't live in California. I think California would be different.
yeah. I mean, I would like to say that I don't think that I really knowing myself, I really don't think that it would. Now, if you got to talking about millions and like that would be one thing.
Maybe it's
but
millions, Brock. Maybe you're much stronger than I am. And
I really don't.
know. Maybe I could be a millionaire and it not affect me at all. I have no idea. I just have a fear that it would.
Yeah. No,
Does
I
that
see
make-
that.
Okay.
No, yeah, absolutely. Because you're not going to know until,
Yeah, right.
like, if you fear that, you're not going to know until it happens, you know?
Right.
And then if it happens, then it's too late. Like,
Then you're
you're
lost.
screwed, you
Yeah.
know? I don't know. I'd probably say, I mean, if I made 200,000 with what Destiny makes, she's a teacher, so she doesn't make very
Now,
much.
okay. Now, if Leslie stopped working and say like she homeschooled our kids and she's not working anymore, it's probably more like 500,000. But I'm talking.
So
like,
that's what I'm.
I'm talking about like okay, combined household money. like
Yeah.
I would say 500,000. But then I was thinking
'Cause
like with what Leslie makes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and my thing,
Because if I actually made that much money, she wouldn't work and she'd just be with the kids all day.
Right.
Like that's you know what I mean.
and see, that's one thing that I have a hard time with is a lot. It at times it can be selfish, me wanting to make more money because, I mean, we all like at some point we all like stuff, like, and at some point, like it would be hard for me, like I would have. I know it's very minimal, but I would have so many pairs of Rad One shoes. Like I would have so many pairs of CrossFit shoes. But like on a serious token,
A lot of mine would probably just be like weird convenience. Like I would buy a soda machine. like where I could just get it. And, you know what I mean? Like
it's very, very random, but that
just
one of
something
my
that I
buddies,
want. You know what I mean? Like it's
one of my buddies from high school, and he wasn't like loaded. He makes really good money now, but he wasn't loaded or anything. He still lived at his parents' house, but he had a urinal in his bathroom at his parents' house, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Like that would be so
just
convenient.
because you can.
Just because, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like if you start talking, and I do think that there's, like you mentioned Tim Tebow. I am a huge Tebow fanboy. I love Tim Tebow. Somebody like in his case, like I truly believe that he does what he's supposed to do with his money, and he's got more money than I'll ever have, I'm sure. But I think for the normal person, and again, there's good people. There's good Christian people that make a bunch of money. But I think, like, for me, if we made $500,000, I think that I would give more? Yes. But I think that I would also.
It goes without question. Like
right.
I think I would. It's not like I'm just gonna like just flip and go to Vegas. It's
right.
This is over time. You know what
I
mean?
But inevitably you're gonna be a whole lot looser with money.
Yes.
Like, whatever. I don't care.
I drive
I
drive like a 2006. It's either 2006, 2016. You can't tell the difference. If it was, I don't remember what Ford Focus. And it's about I'm pretty sure it's the cheapest car in our whole entire, our whole entire neighborhood. I'd probably get a new car. I would just do just the easy stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I tell Destiny all the time, if we were to hit the lottery or something crazy like that, like people wouldn't know right off the bat. But you see all them memes, but there would be signs. Like there would be I would not. I don't care what anybody says. I would not live in a $2 million house, $1 million house, nothing like that. But
I'd want to live in the same house.
I would have I would definitely move just to get some land for sure. But I would have a nice shop in the back. I'd have a nice home gym.
Well, what is the dollar amount where you start getting corrupted a little bit?
I'm gonna say probably solo income. I'm gonna say probably 250, 300. I would say.
Okay. So about
'Cause
the
that's-
same then. About the same as what I'm
Yeah,
talking.
not far off. And I mean, 200
After time,
honestly.
again, after time. I'm just saying that would
Yeah.
lead to, you just dabbling in places you probably didn't dabble before. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or getting connected with people you didn't connect with before. Like,
That's
it's
a
not-
very.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have like something in my head. I'm not like, oh, I'll have a drug empire. That's not like, I don't have something in my head, but I'm just saying, like, it just leads to things you wouldn't have you wouldn't have been there before.
No, that's a good point, because somebody like me with the money that I make, I'm not going to meet the people, because I'm not going to be in the places that the people that make a lot of money are going to be. You know what I'm saying? So like you're saying, that's going to open the door to something that a normal person like me or you would never experience, never see. That side of the world.
Or just pride. Like, what do you do? Oh, I make $300,000 a year. Like, I'm not like I think when I think people think like I'm talking about getting into like some freaky stuff, and I'm not Jeffrey Epstein stuff. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm just saying, like, you start caring about what other people think. You might not talk to people who make $30,000 a year. Like, they're going to be in your same circle, right? Like, pride, greed, like just like stuff like that, I think is easy to creep on you when you don't care about money, when you make enough that you don't care about money.
Yeah. And especially too, like I think we talked about it last time, like, and I know I've heard you say it on the Glinton Things podcast, pride. Like, I struggle with pride. You said you struggle with pride. If you're already struggling with pride, adding a bunch of money on top of that, that's probably not a very good combination,
It's not.
It's
not.
very-
I'm not talking about everybody. I'm just talking about, I think it would affect me personally. Again, I do not think it's bad. I don't think it's bad to have money. That's not what I'm saying.
Right. I don't either. And I would be cool if the Lord tried me just a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe I'm like the world's greatest commentator at Crash, and ESPN picks me up, and then we'll see. And then I just like make that much money now.
Hey, that's a possibility.
I don't think it's a possibility, but it's
you shall see.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be good. That's going to be cool.
I'm excited for
it,
man.
It's going to be really cool. And all of it's going to be live streamed on. Is it through somebody's channel, or
I think Savon's going to live stream the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be sick. And then that's you said you're coming into town Wednesday?
Tuesday at 4.
Tuesday. Oh, sweet, dude! You should.
JR's picking me up.
We should do the. Well, you might be doing it with JR, but we should do the noon class on Wednesday, partner workout.
Wait, I mean, maybe. JR's planning on. He already told me like he's gonna basically go into pulling hell, whatever pulling we're gonna do. We're just gonna do like pulling workouts galore. Because I'm working on pulling. Pulling is one of my biggest weaknesses. So he's excited to have me there just to, I guess, prove his superiority, because he's gonna murder me and everything that's pulling. But I'm supposed
pulling is like your weakness,
like rope, just pulling endurance, rope climbs, pull ups.
We had a bunch of rope climbs yesterday.
Bar muscle ups, leg lifts. My endurance with pulling movements is not near as good as my endurance with pressing movements. I can press for days. Me and Hopper are supposed to do a high rocks. If you want to join.
Yeah, I might get smoked, but I'll do it.
I mean, you run better than me.
I don't know. That was one 5K.
Well, I'm just saying, this is an 8K.
That's true. We did one at Crash. It's been probably 8 months ago, and it was I think it might have been the High Rocks workout, but it was I think JR did 600-meter runs instead of 1,000-meter runs, and it hurt. It hurt bad. Which I was also going with a guy. I went with Taylor Wade, and
Taylor's
is
very, very fit. Very, very.
oh my gosh, dude, he ran me in the ground, dude.
Yeah.
I was hanging on for dear life.
He's basically, I would say he's aerobically as fit as Taylor Self, but like just without the skills and the weights, right? But
he's so, from what I understand, I don't know a whole lot about his background, but from what I understand, he's got something's up with one of his disc in his back or something.
Yeah, no, he's got something where he can't lift very heavy, like
God, he's fit though.
But he's crazy. Yeah. I'm for Hopper for sure. I think he's going to try to get Dallin to come out. So, and we're all just going to do a High Rocks. So, Brock, I am going to be worse than you are. You need to calm down, okay? You're not going to get starstruck by these people, are you? I'm going to be embarrassed if I introduce you and you start stumbling over your words.
Hey, no, my pride will kick in and I'll be good.
You look at them like,
no, I've met Hopper's always in the gym whenever I'm in there.
Yeah. Thankfully, I lift more than all of them, so I can have like, I'm stronger than y'all. So like, I always can pull that out.
I'm not. I'm weak.
Even though they're far superior fitness wise, but no, it should be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be good. We may have to. I was thinking about this earlier. If next week we're gonna do it in person, we may have to change the night because I know normally Thursday night before Crucible
to reprogram, reschedule the Crash Crucible events to fit around our podcast. I agree.
Yeah, I'll ask him this week.
I'd make that call.
Dude, can you imagine that conversation with JR?
I'm gonna need you to move this event forward 3 hours. Okay, we need 3 hours sooner.
Yeah, but normally, because I think it starts on Friday, right?
I don't know. I'm just showing up.
I believe it starts Friday. Normally on Thursday night, we'll be up there taping off all the lanes and putting
preparing
stickers and stuff down. So we may have to do it like Wednesday night, which it doesn't matter to me. I can be flexible.
No, me neither.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. You know something else that I was thinking about earlier that we could talk about if you want to. Being a Christian and being unhealthy. Being a Christian and this is not going to sound good. Being a Christian and being fat, being overweight, being.
You're a great example of this right now.
What do you mean?
Because you used to be fat.
Oh yeah, I did used to be really fat. So I was listening to a sermon.
Like you have a better perspective on this. I don't know what it's like to be fat.
I have.
I'm the fattest I've ever been right now. I'm fat and unfit right now. But like I go to Walmart, I'm obviously,
Oh yeah, no doubt, and that's what I'm talking about. Like I'm talking about the how do you say it?
500-pound life.
Yeah, like how do you not? And
if you got to use the driving seat at Walmart,
dude, don't even get me started on that, dude. That's ridiculous. That is there is absolutely no excuse for that. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter. That is pathetic. Okay, that's one thing. But when you're just fat, no, that's not okay.
What if you're so fat that your legs hurt a lot?
Well, that's you're soft. That's your problem. You're so fat. Like, dude, a lot of people get on to me. Like Destiny, she gets on because of where I came from. I have zero sympathy for anybody who's really fat.
I'm like that with strong people. I don't know if you catch this.
Like me being weak.
No. I could care less how weak you are. No, but like when I'm talking about the games people, like if you've noticed when the really strong people come up, I'm far harder on those people than I am like not strong people. Like I've never been a fan of Gee because he's too strong. Until he gets weaker, he'll never like if until he gets weaker, I don't believe he's getting fitter because I think he's just too on.
So that's what you think his hang up is.
I think he's too on one end of the spectrum. So whenever he does a lift that everybody's like so awed about, I'm like, you're not fitter. You know, when he snatches 305 and it looked hard and that was it, and he still won, but like barely, he's getting fitter. You know what I mean? Like then he's shifting his body and the way it works. And like I'd be excited for him. But like when he does everything super easy and like just wins and everybody's awed, I'm not awed. I'm like you're the same person. And I'm very, very like hard on like other podcasts. I'm very mean to strong people because of that fact. Because I don't think I know how hard it is for me to get fit, for me to improve my aerobic capacity. And I understand like how the bane for them, though, that it's hard for them. But in that sense, if they're staying the same strength, they are not getting fitter. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they're not. So whenever I'm talking about who the actual fittest are, they're not going to be brought up because they're still super strong. Jeff Adler, he made this really big jump. He was like 5th and then he went up to 1st. And I remember Brian Friend told me this. I was like, how do you think Jeff can do this before? This is when I was working with Brian. And I was like, I mean, Jeff's going to be really good at this. And it was a lifting event. And then Brian was like, well, he told me, you know, I got this good at running. I lost a little bit of strength. And like when he said that, he still won the lifting event, the clean and jerk event. It was like 367 or something like that. But he did what he needed to do to get fitter. You know what I mean? Hopper's doing the same thing. Hopper's not lifting at all. All he's doing is gymnastics and running in Metcons. He
does a lot of
gymnastics and running in Metcons, and he's skinnier. And he might be weaker, but he's doing what he has to do to get fitter, to get better, right? And that's something I respect. And the strong people of the CrossFit Games, you don't see them getting worse in their strength. Is all that I'm like. So I'm very hard on them because of the same way you've shown no remorse for fat people because you were fat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel the same way about strong people. I'm sorry. That went on like a fitness.
No, you're good. Well, the thing that I was thinking about, you talked about Gee snatching 305. Well, look at, and obviously we're talking about the top-notch athletes. Like we're not talking about compared to normal people. But look at his fitness versus Taylor's fitness. And Taylor snatched 305 at NorCal, you know? And their fitness levels, I would dare say, are vastly different, you know?
Well, yeah, but he's capable of snatching like 320. I mean, I just threw 305 out there because he did it. That's what he did at SoCal. I was mad that he didn't go heavier. You're only there for your strength. You might as well show out.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But yeah, the fat thing.
Dude, Taylor snatched 305, and the very first text message he puts in the group, like the chat, the locker room chat, the secret chat, like he go like everybody's like, Taylor, that was awesome. Like that was all, you know, myself included. I was like, that was amazing, Taylor, that he did that. The very first text he sends in there, John, what's your 1 rep max snatch? Like he wanted so badly to be higher than mine. And that was the very first text he sent. Not like I'm so happy or whatever. I thought that was
You had to humble him too, didn't you?
It's only 5 pounds more. It's my best snatch is 310. It's not.
That's still unreal, dude.
It's not 3. And I'm gonna tell you, there is no 300 plus snatch that I've had. I've only had like 4, 3 or 4. But I've never had one that looked as smooth as his. Like
he thought it was 285. That's what's crazy.
Well, I said if he knew it was 305, he wouldn't have hit it.
Yeah, and I understand that. Anybody who lifts understands that for
I
sure.
disagree completely, but
Really?
yeah, I like knowing the weight. I like being like, I don't know if I'm gonna hit it. Like I will get a little bit of adrenaline rush knowing this is something I might fail. Like
See, I'm the opposite.
it feels like, you get in a mode, you kind of like you get by yourself mentally. And like, if you know that this is something big, like I can gear my body up just for this one moment. And I only have one lift that's like this, right? Like I can't do it twice. I only have one.
Yeah.
But I can gear up for that one lift like nobody's business. And if I don't know the weight, I'm like, that felt heavy. That didn't feel heavy. I don't know what I'm gearing up for. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people lift better when they don't know the weight. I need to know the weight. Because I'm not going to get scared. I won't, like, as far as scared of it, I commit more when I'm scared of it. Like to dropping or to speed or to explosiveness.
Yeah.
I don't get scared of it and it goes the other way around. And I know most people do. You know what I mean? Most people, when they get scared of it, it's like you don't put the full effort into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like if I'm scared of it, I'll commit more to it. I'm faster. And it's I need that. Or I won't get it.
See, I'm like I don't know, dude. I'm a girl when it comes to, like, I'm a sissy when it comes
I would argue most people are.
Like I think it's mental. It's mental for me. Like I don't know if there's other people that's like this, but I don't like lifting heavy in front of people. Like I would and again, you're smiling like I know I'm a sissy when it comes to that. Like the other day,
why?
It was Monday.
You got pride.
Yeah, Monday
the
gym was closed.
Nobody cares what you're lifting,
yeah,
Brock.
Dude, it is, dude.
Don't care what other people think. Nobody cares unless it's something nobody's ever done, or you failed miserably and like you got a broken bone from it. Nobody cares.
Right. Yeah, I know. But like the other day, so Monday the gym was still closed, so I text JR. I said, "Hey, dude, do you care if me and Adam was supposed to go work out with me?" He was like, I said, "Do you care if we go work out at the barn at your house?" He said, "No, go ahead." And Adam something came up and he couldn't come. So I went by myself, and it was dark in there. The garage door was open. That was the only light. And I was in the back corner squatting, and there was nobody else in there. I started out with like a certain percentage, and he's been doing, like, our squat progressions have been like build to it's been like last week, I think, was 8 sets of 4. Yeah, I think it was 8 sets of 4, go every 2 minutes and build to heavier than the week before. And so this week, I did 10 sets of 3, and it was build to a heavier set of 3 than you built to last week. And so I was just adding weight. Like I wasn't counting. Like I would add a 10 every set. I add a 10, and I got to the point. Like I like it when I get to the point where I'm like, this kind of feels heavy, but I don't know what's on the bar. So I'm just gonna, after I get done with my last set,
I'll count it.
I'm gonna count it up, and that's what I did. And it felt a lot. It felt a lot better. And to me, in my head, the weight that I ended at felt lighter because I didn't know. Like I'll get in my head, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I do have to get over the whole lifting thing.
I think the majority of people have the same feeling that you have.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do lift in front of people. I just don't. I have to leave. I have to leave my ego at the door when I come in because I really do have a hard time with that.
I run in front of people.
That's true.
I did 100 burpees on national television.
Really? When was that?
No, my 100 bar facing burpees on the internet. I'm saying on Savon's podcast.
Oh yeah. No, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
Got called out in front of everybody and it got bullied into doing it, man. And I'm this big body moving slow, and told people I could do this and have no idea if I could do it or not. 459.
100 burpee pull-ups.
No, bar facing burpees.
I
If
thought
I
you said
if
burpee
I if I
pull-ups.
if
was
I
like,
got under
oh,
5 minutes, if I got under 5 minutes, I got $2,000, and I was
heck
459.
yeah, dude, that is awesome.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't remember that. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
dude, I'll send it to you. I got bullied into it. Like, we were having the 100 bar facing burpee challenge. Colton called out Jake Berman and said he had the fastest burpees in the game. And so on the spin, and it's on, and we can look this up. We had a challenge of who has the fastest 100 bar facing burpees in CrossFit, and they had a race together, and Colton won, obviously. And it was like, I want to say 340 something. It was something ridiculous. But and then Hiller asked me, what do you think you can do 100 bar facing burpees in? And I said, I think I can be around 5 minutes. And I have done 100 bar facing burpees before, honesty, and it was like 5:33 or something like that. And that was like everything I had. But, Hiller asked me this. A lot of people are watching. It's on Sevon's thing. So I'm trying to make myself sound a little bit better than I am. And I said 5 minutes. And then Taylor, who was also on the call, says no effing way. And like it turns into this thing. And then somebody freaking called in and said, I will give John $500 if he does 100 bar facing burpees under 5 minutes tomorrow. And then somebody else called in and said, I will also give $500. And this all happened like in 5 minutes.
Wow.
And now I'm on the screen, and now it's like, well, I can't not do it now because it's,
Oh yeah,
I have a chance to win a lot of money, but it's something I can't do. Like I know that I can't do it. And then I just said a little prayer, and I was like, I'm just gonna go at a pace and try to never stop and just do this pace the whole time, just never stop. And the video is really fun, man. It's really fun. And I got it at the buzzer. It was an out of body experience.
That's awesome. And you got $2,000 out of it.
Yeah.
That's freaking sick, dude.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And
I can't remember where I was going with being fat.
You said being fat and being a Christian.
Oh. So this guy I was listening to, I can't remember who it was. He brought up this point, and it's stuck with me ever since I heard it. But he said, imagine you taking your last breath and you stand before God, and he asks you, this is from an overweight standpoint, a fat person. He asks you, why? Obviously, we have the grace of God, and we have salvation through Christ. But hypothetically, he would say, why would I give you a new body if you didn't take care of the body that I gave you to begin with? And I was just like, and obviously, again, that's why I led with, we have the grace of God. So that wouldn't happen.
Right.
In that context. But hypothetically, like it got me thinking. So, I mean, that's the truth. Like, God's given us these bodies, and it's our job to take care of them,
Mm-hmm.
So how can you expect God to, how do you honor God with your body if it's not saying not in shape, because you don't have to do CrossFit. You don't have to be able to run a mile in 6 minutes or whatever. Like, it's not like that. But
you should be able to get from point A to point
healthy.
B.
Exactly. You should not have to ride on the motor car or the electric carts at Walmart.
My question to you, it would be then, what is the criteria of you? Like you're saying, you should not be like this. Well, what is the criteria of this?
Well, I think that's the hard part, and that's the part that I've battled with. Like, where's that line? But, and this is from a man standpoint, from a father's standpoint. How and not even just a father, just a family man. You know, you've got a wife. How do you expect to protect your family, to protect your wife, to protect your kid if you can't bend over and tie your shoes? You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
can't,
So would you
and
say if you could run, I would say, okay, if you could run 400 meters without stopping.
yeah, and you should. Everybody should be
No,
able.
I'm saying that should, is that a suitable line?
I would think so
Do you think it should be
because
more?
that's. I mean, that's pretty basic. You know,
Right.
like that.
Oh, I got you. We're coming from a world of fitness,
But
but
exactly.
but if you are 300 pounds, but you're a bigger body, like you could still run 400 meters without stopping.
I mean,
You know
I
what I
would
mean?
hope so.
Well, I'm saying if you couldn't, you're not
That's
great.
the problem,
Right. Do you think it should be
And
further? Would you make that line 800 meters?
I mean, I personally, and this
I
is
think a
again, this
mile
is
is too
coming.
long. I think a mile, if you run a mile without stopping, I feel like you're in better shape than most people. I know that's sad,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think 800. I mean, that's for a normal person who doesn't work out. That's gonna hurt bad.
right,
You know,
right. That's what I'm saying. So would you say 800 meters is a good one, or would you say that's
I mean,
too?
I would think so because
Okay,
your normal person who comes off of the couch that eats chips and watches TV all the time, they're not going to be able to do that. So I think the line would have to be something that's not completely base level. You know,
okay.
like it's got to be challenging. But and like my thing with that is and not everybody is a
I
father.
think
Not
800.
everybody
I think
is.
800 meters is too long.
You think it's too long?
Yeah,
Why?
for what you're saying. I think if you took, okay, because I'm thinking like how old are you? You know what I mean? I think if you're
Yeah, that's
60
I wasn't thinking.
if you're 60 years old and you're not super fat, but you waddle, right? But you're not super fat. But you're not super fat, you know what I'm talking about, like older
Right,
people,
right, yeah.
they're not gonna run 800 meters.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
You're
I was
thinking of
thinking
people
younger.
our age.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. But then at the same time, you can also I
I
can
think
also
400
say,
meters is a good distance.
I think too, you could also say that the reason you're in the position, I don't know if that would be a good argument, but the reason you're in your position like that in your 50s and your 60s is the choices you made in your 30s, in your 20s.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You know what
But
I'm
I
saying?
think okay, here, let's look at it like this. Let's look at it like this. Who do you think is the worst off person that could run 400 meters without stopping?
The worst.
Yeah, give me a person in your head. This is that's the worst that a person could be, and they could probably still run 400 meters without stopping.
I'm confused on what you're asking.
Like, okay, do you think a 300-pound guy who's, let's say, 5'10" could run 300 meters without stopping? I like a 5'10",
I would
300-pound
think
guy,
so.
but he moves well. But he moves well. He's just fat, but he moves well.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think so too. Is okay. Let's go further than that. What's worse than that? Stop.
What's worse than that?
Yeah. Do you think a 350 5'10" guy could? I would say no.
Yeah, that
You see what I mean? That's a next level. I would say no. So what I'm saying is, think of the worst person that could successfully complete the challenge of running 400 meters without stopping. That's the line of whether you are, what would you call it, living in sin? Not taking care of your body? That's the line.
I think so, yeah.
That, like I'm saying, that would be the line. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you take that out to 800 meters, I think that line just went down a lot, bro.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think 400 meters is a good distance. You have to understand where we're coming from. We're in
Yeah,
a land
yeah,
of
and
fitness,
that's
and we
yeah.
see old BA people all the time. You have to think of the Walmart people.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think 400 meters
Yeah,
is
because I mean,
solid.
if you think about it like that, I mean, a fit, pretty fit person. Typically, if I'm running and I'm not by any means the greatest runner, but if we're doing like 400 meters on an air runner, I'm trying to be 130, 135, somewhere around in there, 140. I mean, that's moving pretty good. Like that's a long time. I mean, 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and no, for them
That's a
it's probably
long
going to be like
time
more
to
like 4 minutes.
exactly, and that's a long time to stay moving. Yeah, so no, I agree with you. I agree with that. Because if you get to talking about 800, you're your person who is not fit at all, doesn't exercise. I mean, you're talking 8
8 to 10
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah.
Because
I see what
they're
you're saying.
running slower than you walk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever watched The Biggest Loser? Called The Biggest Loser run. Everything's moving fast, but they're not moving fast.
Yeah, yeah, at all. We used to. It's funny. So whenever I was really big and I lived at home with my parents, obviously, but we used to watch that show all the time, and I was huge.
Brock, you could be on that show in a couple of years.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's no joke. My mom used to drop hints all the time. Bless her heart.
that is
She tried
so
and tried.
funny. That is so funny.
She did it in a good way, but I never listened. But I don't know, dude. I just feel like, and you add another aspect to it when you become a father, because like you're setting the example, and like I want pride can come in with it, but like I want to be as fit as I can so that whenever I'm 50 and Brooks is 20, 18, 16, whatever, hey dad, will you train with me? Will you go to the
Yeah.
track and run with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? Like,
Or you don't got to
I
do the
just
same
feel like
thing, but like we can go out there together still.
right.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
And I just feel like
My dad still lifts more than I do, and I think it's a little bit of a pride thing, but he still does it. He still
I
lifts
was,
more than I do.
but it's okay to be a pride thing if it's your dad.
Father, son,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely. That's
you're
not
probably
pride at that
right.
point.
You're probably right.
You know,
I'm not getting
I
any
just think it's
stronger, so
so.
like he can as long as he wants it, he can have it because I'm not getting stronger.
See, and I need to. I need to like you. Obviously there's different aspects of fitness, but like I feel like I'm pretty fit as far like I have a pretty good motor, pretty good engine, but maybe it's the pride side. Like I have a hard time, and I think it's because I came from being fat. Like I have a hard time upping my food intake to try to get stronger because I know that I'm not going to look as lean. You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's
I have a really hard time
you
with
have
that.
you have a fat boy mentality.
Absolutely.
I don't envy you. I'm not gonna act like I know what it's like.
Dude, it's awful. Like I think about JR all the time too, because he was. I think it might have been on Savon's podcast years ago. He kind of gave like his life story or whatever, and talked about how his relationship with food was awful, and he was like he would earn his next meal, or he would like if he ate something bad, he would go run 3 miles or something crazy. Like it's not. I'm not as bad like that anymore, but like that used to be me. Like if I would eat pizza one night, if I knew that I was eating pizza So today's Thursday. If I knew I was eating pizza tomorrow night, Friday night, then I would starve myself all day Friday, or I would eat literally. I would have nothing but protein shakes all day, and I would just go freaking let loose on some pizza. You know what I mean? And then the next day, dude, I would work out so hard. It's just it's weird. That's getting into a whole nother. We're not going to go there. That's getting into a whole nother thing.
I mean, that could be. You could argue you have the same problem as fat people do, but just the other way around.
No, I agree 100%. I agree 100. And again, it's not
these freaking
nowhere
skinny
near.
people nowadays. These skinny boys just living in sin, don't know how to eat food. Look at how God has blessed us. We can eat pizza, Brock. You know what people in freaking Ethiopia would give to eat a slice of pizza?
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely.
And you get to do that. You just spit on them with your mindset. Oh my goodness, I'm disgraced doing this podcast with skinny boy mindset. Eat some food.
Now, on a serious note, for real, like I really think that CrossFit helped, and it helped me get out of that. Like it still struggle with it from time to time, but it really did. It kind of forced me out because the amount of
and the workouts are too intense. You couldn't do workouts without carbs.
No, like, and I just do. I don't train for obviously games or any. Like I don't do anything. I do the class. Typically every Monday through Friday I do the class workout. So it's not Monday through Saturday really. It's nothing crazy. I mean, it's an hour a day. Mm-hmm. But I knew that starting it, I was still trying to eat very light, and like it was just not. I was like 4 or 5 months in, and I still sucked at everything. And I was like, dude, something's got to give. Like I got to start eating more. And then I started eating more, and I started seeing more progress. And I was like, okay, yeah. I quit tracking my macros, and I was like, yeah, I gotta.
How much do you weigh?
Gotta start eating. That's another thing. I would say right at 195 to 200. I had to stop weighing myself. I used to weigh myself every single morning. Yeah, 5'11", 6 foot.
Okay, so you're a solid weight. Like that's yeah, you're great.
Yeah, not bad. I'm weak. I'm a little sissy. That's okay. We'll get
Maybe
there.
You could go on a bulk phase and just lift. Yeah, do JY barbell.
Maybe I need to. And I was about to say I need to hit up JY barbell.
Regardless of what the first part of the podcast sounds like, it is $100 a month. So it's not free.
No, I need to.
Because I said I didn't like money. That's why I said that. But
no, yeah, you got to make a living.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't fix people's car for free. You know, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So we went from hurricane to.
I feel like we didn't even talk about what the topic that we were supposed to talk about.
Fat people riding on electric scooters.
I think my dad hit it on the head with his last comment.
Take away Brock has food issues, John money issues. That's good. That's good. I do love to eat. That's a fact.
I disagree. I think you don't love to eat.
Well, and that's the problem that's in my body. I love to eat, like I really do, but I have to stay structured. Like I have to meal prep. I have to eat the same thing for lunch every single day. I eat beef and rice every single day. Like I have to stay structured like that, or I will fall off the wagon. Because I know how much food means to me. I guess is what you would say. Which I don't. It can be a good thing, but it can also be a really bad thing.
So you're not going to go out and eat pizza with us on one of these nights?
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll just work out really hard.
I don't want to put you through.
I'm just kidding. No, like so you remember when we did Crescendo, we went to that Italian place or that Greek place that night. After the 5K run, John ate a large pizza. most of a large pizza. Nikita, I can't remember what he got, but I got chicken pasta, grilled chicken and pasta. Like,
let's go to the same place. But we'll bring Hopper and Dallin, and I'll challenge them to a pizza. We should film that. I think that would make a lot of
pizza eating contest.
Yes, just get a large pizza with the three of us, and the winner's the first one done.
Dude, I think I could hold my own on that for sure.
Dude,
like I would willingly put money on that.
I don't know if I could get Dallin and Hopper to agree to that. They got reputations to uphold. They have to act healthy 24/7. But it would be fun though.
I think I would definitely do that for sure.
I'm super down.
We should do it. You think we could convince JR to do it?
No, dude. JR hasn't had a carb in 19 years.
Other than fruit, he eats fruit like we drink water.
No, dude, I mean, we can ask him. Yeah.
Nah, I don't think he would.
All right, guys. Whoever's listening to this, put in the comments something you might want us to talk about, and we will try our best to stay on topic. I don't think we've successfully stayed on topic once, as far as what we were going to talk about, but we will be better. That's what this podcast is about: random tangents with two Christian brothers. So yeah,
we'll do it again next week. We will. I'll also try to get better. My plan was to post once or twice on Instagram, with the internet going out, phone service going out. It honestly just slipped my mind whenever I got it back. But I'm gonna try to be better about.
You're good. Do you know how to clip clips?
That's one thing that I was gonna try to research and find out.
Yeah, because those get those go pretty big, and just collaborate with me. Do we put this on Spotify?
That's another thing I got to figure out how to
do. Okay.
I told you, I agreed to do all the tech stuff, knowing that I'm awful at tech stuff. So it's one day at a time. I am going to figure it out, though. I don't think it's hard. I think you just have to link.
I don't think it's hard.
Link the accounts together. But yeah, that's definitely something that we're going to do for sure. But next week, we'll be posting on Instagram about what we'll figure out what night it's going to be best. It may be a different night. It may not be Thursday.
And it might be with the Glinton girls. It might be with JR.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Are the Glinton girls? Are they coming in town?
They're coming in town, man.
Oh, sweet. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. We'll do. I don't know. I'm sure JR would be down, but his mind's going to be going a million miles.
No, yeah, maybe not. But I was thinking on if we did it on Wednesday, but before the competition. But
let's plan on that.
If he can't, he can't. No big deal. He's picking me up from the
airport. We'll just plan for Wednesday, and we'll just play it by ear. But
I have the spin on Wednesday.
What time?
6:30. It'd have to be middle of the day.
Okay. Yeah, we'll me and John will figure that out. And we'll
you and who?
I'll poke me and you. We'll figure out.
I don't know. Okay.
We'll figure out when we can.
I thought we were talking to each other, and then you went to talking to the people.
I probably did. That's probably
it messed me up a little bit.
No, we'll figure it out, and we will let y'all know. One of us will post it, and we'll go from there. But it should be in person, so it'll be a nice little spin on things. So it'll be cool. Mm-hmm. Might be somebody else might be with us, like John said. So we will see y'all then.
Till then, peace.